The Crumbling of a Nation is a collection of 14 speculative and satirical short stories that discuss a variety of issues facing America today. And one of those stories is Amber's Son. And I would like to read you a sneak peek, where after lunch, Amber's son and his friends are running to the playground. And then this happens. But when they went out to the playground to race, Amber's son never reached the starting line. Instead, he became distracted by a pair of boys in camouflage suits standing in front of a table covered in plastic bottles, sheet pins, brochures, stickers, and miniature flags as they yelled out at the passing students, "Do you love your country?" And "Are you brave enough to serve your nation?" And "If so, the United States Army is the organization for you." He loved his country, and he'd always been the bravest kid in the 7th grade. So while the rest of his friends prepared to race, he approached the boys in camouflage suits instead. "Hello," he said. "My mother's name is Amber. I love my country, and I'm also the bravest kid in the 7th grade. Always have been." He shook hands with both boys. "My mother's name is Doris," said one. "My mother's name is Angelica," said the other. The sons of Doris and Angelica spent the rest of the lunch break telling the son of Amber about the time they fought in a war. "I want to go to war," said Amber's son. "Well," said one of the boys, "you can." He grabbed a piece of paper from the table and handed it to Amber's son. The paper had just 3 sentences on it. Those sentences went like this. "I hereby acknowledge that my life may be lost in war. I acknowledge that if my life is to be lost in war, it will have been lost for the greatest of causes. And finally, I acknowledge that from this day forward, my government's enemy is eternally my enemy." Beneath those sentences were 3 lines. The first line had already been signed by the commander-in-chief. The following lines still needed signatures. The first signature was to come from Amber's son. The second was to come from Amber herself. When Amber's son returned home, he was quick to put the permission slip in front of his mom. Mommy, he said, "I met these soldiers at school today, and they told me all about the war they were in, and how they stayed in tents with all their friends, and shot guns, and smoked cigarettes, and drank whiskey, and talked to girls from the towns they visited, and how they killed enemy soldiers, and told stories around the campfire. Can I go to war, Mommy? Please? Can I join the U.S. Army? Please, Mommy, please. I want to help my country. I want to save America. I want to be a patriot, Mommy. Please, oh please. I want to show the boys how brave I can be." Amber looked at her son and knew she hadn't a choice in her response. The answer had already been determined on her behalf. She could only go along with it now. After all, how could a mother say no to such a thing? How could a mother deny her son the right to be a patriot? How could she not sign the paper already signed by the President of the United States? How could she not send her son to war when so many mothers had already sent theirs? What other choice did she have? So she picked up the pen and signed her name between the signatures of her son and the President of the United States.